Picture this, a trucker in the US powering through endless highways, battling time zones and long stretches of open road. Now, flip to Europe, driver weaving through ancient cities, border crossings, and toll stations every couple of hours. Same job, completely different worlds. Hi, I'm Alex, and today we're diving into one of the most hotly debated topics in the trucking world, what it's really like to be a trucker in America versus Europe. We'll explore trucks, the roads, the lifestyle, and what it means to be a trucker on opposite sides of Atlantic. And trust me, it's not just about the size of the trucks, it's about a completely different way of life. Before we hit the road, let's decode some trucker lingo. 10-4 means got it. Alligators are those tire shreds you dodge on the highway, and chicken coop, that's a way station. Don't worry, I'll keep it plain English from here. And here's the kicker. What can these two worlds learn from each other? Stick around. This isn't just a comparison. It's a look at what makes trucking the backbone of two completely different societies and economies. Let's roll. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, hit the bell button so you don't miss any of the weekly episodes. Got thoughts on today's topic? Drop it in the comments. I love to hear from you. Did you know that in America, trucks transport over 70% of all goods? If it's in your house, whatever it's the couch, your coffee, or that inflatable Santa you bought last Christmas, truck probably brought it. In Europe though, they like to share the love of trains and boats. Two trucking industries, two economies, and two completely different ways of keeping the shelves stocked. In America, trucking is king. The distances are massive, the highways are endless, and the loads, let's just say, if it fits, it ships. The US trucking industry makes over $700 billion a year. That's more than GDP of some countries. And with over 3 million drivers, we got more truckers than Wyoming has people. Not that Wyoming complaining again, they need deliveries too. Think about it, if trucking stopped for even one day in America, grocery stores would run out of avocados, Amazon packages would be late, and Starbucks would run dry. Chaos, utter chaos. Now, let's look at Europe. It's a whole different story. Sure, trucks are essential, but they share the spotlight with trains and barges. They got systems on systems. But with so many countries packed together, you gotta deal with narrow streets, border crossings, and enough tolls to make your wallet cry. Although, let's be honest, America got its fair share of road headaches too. Ever hit a road sign in the middle of nowhere? Or worse, a traffic light at 3 a.m.? And then there's emission rules. In Europe, they take their eco-friendly regulations seriously. Meanwhile, in the US, we're over here making trucks bigger, louder, and shinier. It's a vibe. Unless, of course, you're in California. So, here's the big difference. American trucking industry thrives on scale, huge trucks, huge distances, and a bigger is better mentality. In Europe, it's all about efficiency, maximizing resources in a small, highly regulated space. It's like comparing a road trip in Texas to a drive through Italy. One's a marathon, the other one's dance through roundabouts. I still remember hearing about the long-haul trip in the US, 1,500 miles, 3 states, and 1 gas station, hot dog too many. In Europe, the same distance could take you through 4 countries, 2 languages, and at least 1 overly enthusiastic customs officer. So, which system works better? Well, in America, you have all the fast food joints you can think of at a truck stop. In Europe, you get croissants and questionable cappuccino machine. Next, let's talk about what's life really like for the people behind the wheel. Trucking is more than a job, it's a way of life. Whether you're cruising down the vast highways of America or threading through Europe's labyrinth of toll roads, every day behind the wheel comes with its own rhythm, challenges, and rewards. In the US, trucking is all about the long haul. Imagine spending days, sometimes weeks on the road, covering thousands of miles. Your truck isn't just your ride, it's your home, your office, and occasionally your therapist. Truck stops here are like mini cities. You got everything, showers, laundry, Wi-Fi, and every fast food joint your heart desires. If you're lucky, there's a working coffee machine. And if you're really lucky, decent coffee. The pay structure reflects the distance. You get paid per mile, which means the more you drive, the more you earn. But that comes with its own challenges, like finding a safe place to park for the night when the lot's already full of 18-wheelers stacked like Tetris blocks. Fun fact, the average American trucker drives around 500 miles a day, basically the equivalent of crossing some European countries twice. Europe, on the other hand, is a whole different ballgame. Trips are shorter, but the rules way more complicated. In a single day, you might cross multiple borders, each with its own sets of regulations, currencies, and toll systems. It's a constant puzzle with new pieces at every turn. And parking, let's just say squeezing a truck into these tiny rest stops feels like parallel parking a yacht in a kid's pool with everyone watching. But hey, at least you're never too far from civilization. In Europe, drivers are rarely more than a few hours away from a town or hot meal, or let's be real, another roundabout. The biggest difference between trucking in the US and Europe comes down to time and space. In America, drivers think in miles. How far can I get before my next stop? In Europe, it's all about logistics. How many tolls, borders, and detours will I hit before I even get to my delivery? An American trucker's biggest challenge might be a blizzard of over 500 miles. For a European driver, is deciding if the next toll booth takes cash, card, or sheer luck. I once heard a story about a driver trying to park at a rest stop in France. He spent 30 minutes squeezing into the last available spot, only to realize the guy next to him had parked so close he could not even open his door. Meanwhile, in the US, someone's out here parallel parking 18-wheeler into Burger King lot, dodging alligators or grabbing a bite. Because why not? So, whether it's dodging kamikaze deers all over America or weaving through cyclists in Amsterdam, trucking keeps drivers on their toes. It's not just a career, it's an adventure, no matter where you are. When it comes to trucks, size and style aren't just preferences, they're a reflection of the environments they're built for. If you ever compare a European Cabover to an American long-nose rig, the difference can be clear. In Europe, the Cabover trucks reign supreme. With its flat front design and compact build, it's tailor-made for continent's tight streets, sharp turns, and smaller parking spots. It's like the sports car of the trucking world, agile and efficient. These trucks are designed to maximize space while staying within strict size and weight regulations. And let's not forget, smaller trucks mean fewer emissions, which keep those European environmental regulators happy. Meanwhile, in the US, it's all about the long-nose rigs. These beasts are built for comfort and endurance, perfect for long-haul trips that span thousands of miles. Think of them as RVs of trucking, with room for sleeper cab storage and even a microwave. And on some of the crazily modified ones, you'll find a full kitchen, a living room, and even a bathroom. American highways offer the space for those larger rigs, and the relaxed size regulations mean drivers can enjoy the perks of home on wheels while hauling heavy loads. So, why the difference? It comes down to practicality and power. In Europe, efficiency is king. Smaller trucks mean smaller engines, usually ranging 400 to 600 horsepower, which is perfect for short hauls and tight routes. Meanwhile, in America, size matters, especially under the hood, with engines often pushing 600 to 800 horsepower. These rigs are built for hauling heavy loads over thousands of miles. It's like comparing a hatchback to a muscle car. The difference isn't just in numbers, it's in how these engines are designed to meet the demands of their environments. Europe's trucks are optimized for fuel efficiency and emission standards, while America's rigs prioritize raw power and endurance. It's like comparing a smart car to a monster truck. Both get you where you're going, but let's be honest, one of them looks way cooler rolling into a truck stop. Life on the road isn't all scenic views and truck stop burgers. From strict regulations to unpredictable road conditions, truckers on both sides of the Atlantic face challenges that can make or break a career. In America, truckers face long hours, tight schedules, and an industry that leans heavily on independent contractors. Driving 11 hours a day sounds manageable until you add rush hour, because nothing says efficiency like idling on a highway with 48,000 pounds of cargo. And let's not forget the chicken coops. It's what truckers call weigh stations, and stopping there is about as fun as it sounds. It feels like a body cavity check, even though it's your truck that's being examined. Then there's paperwork. Whenever it's logging hours, managing permits, or tracking shipments, this job follows you into the cab. Now, Europe takes things up a notch. Sure, the distances are shorter, but crossing borders isn't just simply as waving a passport. Drivers juggle regulations that vary from country to country, not to mention currencies, tolls, and yes, even language barriers. And if that's not enough, rural routes can throw in surprises like, say, a cow protest in the middle of the road. Parking is another story. With limited spaces, finding a spot at the end of the day can feel like competing in the Olympics, except the prize is an app in a legal zone. And then there's environmental regulations. Europe's strict emission standards are great for the planet, but for drivers, it means adapting to constantly changing rules and sometimes upgrading to greener, more expensive trucks. Technology is helping drivers adapt to some of these challenges. GPS, logistics apps, and electronic logging devices are changing the ways truckers plan their routes and manage their time. But even tech has its limits. Sure, the GPS helps, until it decides that a back road meant for bicycles is the fastest route for a truck. That's when you hope there's another truck on the CB radio calling out the next alligator or a detour. In the US, truckers are often seen as modern-day cowboys, roaming the open road. In Europe, they're unsung heroes battling bureaucracy, traffic, and of course, the roundabouts. Always the roundabouts. Despite these differences, one thing's clear. Truckers everywhere share a universal bond, to drive to keep the world moving, no matter the obstacles. So, what's the biggest challenge in trucking today? Regulations, traffic, low pay, not enough rest stops, or expensive fuel? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Trucking has kept the world moving for decades, but as the industry evolves, new challenges and opportunities are rolling in. The question is, What does the road ahead looks like for the truckers? Let's start with America. The buzzword here is automation. Self-driving trucks are being tested as we speak, promising to reduce costs and improve efficiency. But for drivers, it's not exactly a dream come true. Sure, a robot can work 24/7, but can you swap road stories and enjoy a truck stop burger? Exactly. Then, there's a rise of electric vehicles. Companies like Tesla and Freightliner are rolling out electric trucks that aim to cut emissions and lower fuel costs. But there's one big question. Where do you charge them when you're in the middle of nowhere? That's a puzzle we're still solving. And we can't ignore the growing driver shortage. With fewer people entering the industry, the pressure is on to attract new drivers while keeping current ones happy. Spoiler alert, the more rest stops and better pay might help. Over in Europe, the push for greener trucking is even stronger. With strict emissions regulations, electric and hybrid fleets are becoming the norm. The goal? Fully green trucking industry by 2050. Ambitious, right? But let's not forget the elephant, or should I say a truck in the room, parking shortages. Europe is working on solutions, but for now, finding a legal spot in the shift can still feel like winning a lottery. Europe is also focusing on smarter logistics. By integrating rail, sea, and road transport, the goal is to create seamless network that keeps goods moving while reducing emissions. It's like a symphony. When it works, when it doesn't, well, let's just say Beethoven would not approve. The future of trucking isn't just regional, it's global. From sharing technology to aligning regulations, there's a lot of US and Europe can learn from each other. Imagine a world where parking spaces are universal, trucks run on green energy, and toll booths actually work seamlessly. A dream? Maybe. But it's one worth chasing. When I think about the future of trucking, I see a world where trucks are quieter, cleaner, and more connected. Maybe one day, parking lots will always have space, GPS will never lead us astray, and drivers, human or not, will always find a hot meal waiting for them. It's a future built on innovation, but one that never forgets the people who make it all possible. Trucking is more than just moving goods. It's about connecting people, cultures, and economies. And no matter where the road takes us, one thing is for sure, the wheels will keep turning. What do you think the future of trucking looks like? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. Until next time, 10-4, keep the shiny side up. Watch out for those alligators. Keep on trucking. Got thoughts on today's topic? Drop them below, and stay tuned for the next episode where we tackle another side of American life.